Alright, so this week's video is going to be a little bit different than usual. To be perfectly honest, I didn't really have a lot of time to work on the bus, and when I did have time, I wasn't feeling great. There's just a bunch of stuff going on, but I do have a video for you guys today. Unfortunately, it's not a bus video, but it is something that I think you guys will enjoy. So recently I was looking for a new job, and I put out a bunch of applications on a website called Indeed.ca. So this is basically the Canadian version of an online job board. And as you can imagine, where there are desperate people looking for work, there is also the possibility of scammers who are going to prey on people like that. And I came across somebody who I'm pretty darn sure is a scammer. I would say about 85 to 90% sure that they're a scammer. This entire exchange took place over text messaging, and I'm going to read it out for you guys. I think you guys are going to love this. This was a lot of fun. So we start with this first person called Camille Bouchard. And she starts off by saying, "Free for a short chat? I can text, but I can't talk on the phone. This is Camille Bouchard from Indeed. We have a new opening available. May I share the details briefly? Should I share them here?" Now, of course, I was confused because they didn't ever mention what it was for, so I asked which company is this for. And her response was pretty telling. "We are partnered with various companies all across Canada. The details of the company and the location will be forwarded to you by the HR manager. Just a quick confirmation. Are you a citizen, a permit holder, or have you lived in Canada for 3 years? Any of these qualifies." Now, them not willing to share who the employer is very, very suspect. It was at this point where I was pretty sure I was speaking to a scammer, but I thought I'd better do a little bit more probing to see if I can get more information. So one of the first things I like to do when speaking to scammers is I like to throw in little jokes and see if they catch them. Because if they do catch them and they call me out on it, usually it means I'm talking to a real person. So I said, "Yes, and I also have citizenship to the Republic of Wakanda." Now, for any of you who don't know, Wakanda is a fake country from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, here's something really telling. They didn't acknowledge what I just said. They basically just said, "One final quick question. For some roles, are you at least 23 years old?" So this tells me one of two things. Either they're an AI bot, or I'm speaking to somebody who is using a script, and they're looking for certain keywords to respond to. So of course I decided to throw in more jokes. So I said, "No, I'm actually 40, but in dog years. Is this about the role at the mushroom farm? I hear it's very lucrative." So this mushroom farm thing, it's something that I came up when I deal with scammers from now on. I always bring up something about this mushroom farm. It's funny, and the scammers who know who I am, or they start to recognize me based on this mushroom farm thing, and they usually hang up on me pretty quick. The fact that they didn't even acknowledge it means that either these people don't know that I am a mushroom farm guy, or that I'm speaking to a bot. "Lastly, may I confirm that you are 23 years above?" So they just repeated the question, which tells me it's probably a bot. So I know they're probably looking for the word yes, so I said, "Yes, I'm 40, but in dog years." And then I got the confirmation message that I'm going to get more information from somebody else. This is a pretty common scammer tactic where they jump you from person to person. I've had it before with email scams and stuff like that too. Alright, so this is a different number, and this was about 24 hours after I got that first group of texts. So this is somebody who's claiming to be Camille Bush from Indeed Recruitment. Now, Indeed has specifically stated that anybody who claims to be from Indeed Recruitment or claiming to be an agent that works for Indeed is usually a scammer. So yeah, they're just asking me if I'm interested. I know that they're looking for the word yes. So to test this, I responded with "I." And naturally I didn't get a response, so just after that I said yes. And then the automated response says, "Nice to hear back from you. Hope your day is going well so far." So again, I greeted them and I made a bit of a reference to my mushroom farm and say that I made a lot of money. Now it's at this point that I'm pretty sure that I'm talking to an AI bot, because the way they've been responding, like, nobody talks like this. "That's great to hear. I'm glad you had a wonderful day." Nobody talks like that. So then I responded with, "Oh, am I talking to an actual person now?" "Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations on the sale. Sounds like a very productive day." Does that not sound like ChatGPT to you guys? So again, in response to me saying that I'm talking to an actual person, they said I am Sophia Kratz. Now, here's something that's really strange. They said their name was Camille Bush earlier, but now apparently they're Sophia Kratz. And it's at this point where I think it switched over from being an AI bot to being a real person that's trying to scam me. So they asked me what my name is, and I said, My name is Ron. Ron White. Ron Tater White.
They call me Tater Salad.
So they mentioned that they have this new opportunity and blah, 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 blah. So I said, shoot, I'm keen. Now, I said that in a specific way. I did not say yes. So I've already established at this point that yes is a keyword for the bot. Because I responded in this way, they had to respond to this, and I was waiting to see if they would. So instead what they did is they started responding to all of the messages that I put in earlier. So, haha, nice to meet you, Ron Tater White. I love the nickname. It definitely makes you memorable. So the fact that this person doesn't know who Ron White is well, it's pretty telling. Either there's somebody from a country that doesn't understand what blue-collar comedy is, or it's a bot. So I responded, memorable is one way to put it. And they said, Ron, where are you originally from? I'm originally from Germany, and I'm 34 years old. So I responded, again trying to test them, I'm from Wakanda, and I'm 40 in dog years. And they responded, haha, I like that. Definitely a name that sticks. Now they're responding to memorable is one way to put it. Like, most people would just ignore it. But they actually responded to that. So anyways, in response to my Wakanda joke, haha, Wakanda, I love it. And 40 in dog years, that's a fun way to put it. Okay, back to business, Ron. The role is a fully remote, flexible freelance position with Heyday Films, a global company known for visual effects and promoting school movies. You only need a phone with internet access, you can set your hours, and you can work at your own pace. It won't interfere with your current job, making it a convenient side hustle for extra income. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, Heyday Films is known for doing the Harry Potter series, which is why I had to laugh a little bit when it said known for visual effects and promoting school movies. Now that looks like something that was written by ChatGPT. Again, nobody talks like that. So anyways, I thought, well, okay, I actually looked up what Heyday does, and they have no positions available for stuff like this. I also found their phone number, or at least the LA number, and I did call them, but that comes later on in the video. So anyways, they continue to tell me about what times they're working and blah, 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 blah. And they asked me if I have any experience working remotely or online. Now again, I know they're looking for the keyword, which is yes, so that's what I said. I also said, is this like a money mule position? I've done stuff like that before. By the way, I haven't, guys. I haven't at all. So a money mule is somebody who picks up cash from somebody who's been scammed, and they send it off to the scammers over in India or Africa or whatever country they're in. And they get a cut of that money. So of course they responded to my yes by saying that's great, blah, 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 blah. They're asking me what kind of online jobs have I done before. Right after that, they respond to my Money Mule question, and they say not at all, this is a legitimate freelance opportunity. So they know Money Mule stuff is a scam, but they're not responding to me doing that as they probably know it's illegal. It's not a Money Mule position. You'll be working to support the promotion of movies and TV shows online, using the company's platform to complete tasks and earn income safely and transparently. So then they do this whole thing of your position is the same as mine, media visibility coordinator. Our role is supporting the growth of movies and TV. They've already said all this already. You'll use the company's digital workbench to rate content, give feedback, and help promote titles to a wider audience. No phone calls, no selling, and no personal info needed. Just log in, complete your task, and get paid. That's impossible. They have to get some personal information in order to pay me. Not only is it illegal to not have my social insurance number, you also need to have some way of sending the money to me. So I'd have to give either a bank account or they'd have to send it through my email address. So there's some sort of personal information that I would have to send to them in order for them to pay me. So anyways, I said I was an outbound sales representative whose primary purpose was to liberate people from their money using Bitcoin or prepaid gift cards. I was really good at it, but my company got shut down. After that, I started the mushroom farm and I sell shrooms online. By the way, I basically just told them that I was a scammer. I'm not, but I'm pretending to be. So they responded, thanks for sharing your background. It sounds like you've had quite a journey from sales to starting your own mushroom farm. That's impressive. I found this to be really funny because they put a little mushroom icon just after that. I love it. And then they tell me that the media visibility coordinator role is very different from my previous sales experience. No selling, no handling of money, no involvement with Bitcoin or gift cards. You'll simply log in, complete tasks, give feedback, and help promote movies all safely and legitimately. Yeah, I'm sure. You will get a clear picture of the role in the free training session. And here we get to the scam. The scam is they want you to click on a link. I'm just waiting for them to give me that link because I will not be clicking on that link at all because there's no way I'm going to trust these guys. So instead, what I'm attempting to do is draw out the conversation a little bit. I'm trying to waste their time. So I responded by saying, "Aw, but I like gift cards." And their response was, "Ah, I see. I'm sure you'll enjoy this role as well. The commission is a great perk and you'll be able to withdraw it daily." "Perfect. That will help on the mushroom farm. I need to order some new spores soon." "It definitely will. In just a short time, your business can start growing. It's actually helped me fund my fashion design business." So they basically just handed me something to play with on a silver platter right there. Naturally, I gotta ask more about this fashion design business. So I asked, "What kind of fashion do you do?" And they responded, "I deal in ladies' clothes." "Oh, I see. That answers no questions whatsoever." "Oh, so you like dresses. Do you make them yourself?" And here's where they're asking, "By the way, are you married?" Again, they're trying to get more information out of me. So I just made up stuff to have fun. So they did respond to, "Do you make yourselves?" And they said, "Yes, I love being creative and make different." Different what? I know they probably meant to say something more there, but what? So I think this is actually a real person here because ChatGPT wouldn't make a mistake like that. So I decided to drop that line of conversation and react to their previous question, asking whether I'm married. So I said, "I am unfortunately divorced. My ex-wife found out about my affair and it ended up pretty poorly for me. Shame she died a few days later." "You're not a cop, are you?" "I understand, Ron. I actually went through divorce too after about a year and a half. It wasn't easy, but things do get better with time." "No, I'm not a cop at all. I'm just here to chat and get to know you better." And I was like, "Oh, good. I was worried for a second there that my secret would get out." And of course, they want to continue the scams. They're trying to draw my attention back to it. So they say, "Actually, let's get back to business. I just wanted to build a connection. It's always good to know your workmate." "Yeah, sure it is. Okay." So in response to my, "Oh, I hope my secret's not gonna get out," they were like, "Oh no." I said, "Yes, it's true. I hated my wife's casserole." And they start laughing. They're like, "Don't worry, your secret's safe with me." I said, "The horror, the shame." And they respond, "Haha, I can only imagine. Don't worry, your secret is safe. I won't tell a soul." I said, "Good, because I ended up cheating on her with another woman's casserole. It was just so good. No peas in it. I hate peas." And naturally, they're trying to get back to the scam. So they're like, "Okay, Ron, do you understand the details I shared so far? If so, we can move on to discussing this salary structure." Now, but see, I was on a bit of a roll, so I decided to keep going. "Wife found out, divorced me, and 2 days later she was dead. Ironically, she choked on a pea. Yeah, probably a good idea to discuss salary." "Haha, sounds like that casserole really won you over." So then I get sent all this compensation structure, blah, 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 blah. All of this means absolutely nothing, by the way. Now, I wanted to see what they would come up with, so I said, "Can you give me an example of a task that I might need to complete?" And then they said, "Well, the free training session will give a clear picture of the task since it's based on practical. Do you have 40 to 50 minutes to join the training?" Now, I don't want that. I want them to actually come up with something because there's no way I'm joining this training. So I decided to push a little harder and I said, "Okay, but like really quick, since you do the job, can you just give me a quick example?" So then she said, "Okay, tasks are a set of film orders assigned to by the company's intelligent system. You only need to rate the content and submit." Again, who says intelligent system? That doesn't sound anything like what a native English speaker would say. So of course I asked, "So are you part of the company's intelligence system?" And the response was, "I'm not, I'm doing the same role as yours." Now I'm thinking, really now? So why are you talking to me? Is hiring people something that I'll have to do too? Now I'm pretty sure this next section was also written by machine learning. It was kind of clever actually. So their response was, "Once you've been with the company for about a month, you'll have the opportunity to invite others, such as family and friends. Each user gets 1 invitation slot, so you'll be able to invite others after your probation period." Now this is actually really clever because at this point I'm beginning to think, wait a second, is this actually legitimate? But then I think back over the course of the entire conversation and I know there's no way this is real. This can't be real. But that's how they get you. You start doubting yourself, and next thing you know, you're agreeing to something you really don't want to be doing. So at this point, I was getting kind of tired of talking to these people, so I said, "Okay, let's get started. All my questions have been answered." So they give me a bunch of instructions on the trial day period and all this other nonsense. And naturally, they're going to send me the Workbench's website and the invitation code so that you can register a working account. And there is the scam. They're going to send me a link, they want me to click on it, and they can fetch all sorts of personal information from your computer by doing that. So I responded, "Get her done." That means yes. And they responded, LOL was going to look for translator. So now I'm pretty sure I'm talking to a real person, but they might be using scripts from like ChatGPT or something along those lines. And they send me this supposed screenshot of what the homepage is going to look like. Again, it looks legit. And then of course they say, let me know when you're done with registration and we can continue with the training session. And I said, okay. Now there's no way I'm going to click on that link, but I wanted to keep them on for just a little bit longer. So I decided to do the old, the link isn't working ploy. So I said, should I Google the company and go from there instead? Basically what I'm testing here is to see if they're okay with me going through the legitimate company website. Because if they say no, it means that, no, if you try to go through the legitimate company website, then our scam won't work. And they don't outright say no, but they do say to access the working platform, you need to use an invitation code. Sure, bud. And as I told you, it is through the invitation code. So I said, okay, well, can I call instead? I found the number for the USA studio. So they told me to share a screenshot with them, and then they were going to help me with where I got stuck. Now I'm just messing with them, so of course I didn't actually click on the link. So I went to Google and I found this. And I said, this is what I get. Now they're trying to tell me it's a network problem, and let's move on to WhatsApp. Don't do that. Don't go on WhatsApp, guys. I said, easy sharing of screenshots so they can guide me step by step, blah, blah, blah. And of course they say refresh your phone and try again. So I said, okay, I'll try again. I moved to the top of the bridge to get better signal. And of course now they're pushing me to get onto WhatsApp. They said, let me text you on WhatsApp. Check your WhatsApp. I said, hold on. I'm an idiot. I don't have data on my phone. And they're like, how come we're chatting? Can you chat without internet? I'm like, no, I have a phone so I can text but no internet. Did I mention that I'm homeless? And they responded with, no, but you rather mentioned that you had a productive day, that's all. And I was like, well, I did. My mushroom farm is under the bridge. The other homeless guys love my mushrooms. I'm not sure exactly what they were trying to say with this, but they said, why are you funny, Ron? And I was like, they get a good high from them. So I'm not sure if they're actually catching on that I'm being stupid with them, or if they genuinely think that because I'm homeless, I can't be happy. And they're like, come on WhatsApp now. And I was like, I can't. I don't have data. And this person's like, I saw your picture. You really enjoy farming. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be a threat or if they're accusing me of lying about having no internet, which, by the way, I was. But, again, I don't really understand what they're trying to say with this. So I just said, heck yeah, I do. So I figured the jig was probably up. So I decided to call it. So I put a picture of this. This is Ron White, by the way. And I said, I'm funny because I'm this guy. I'm not. I'm not Ron White, guys. Clearly, I am not Ron White. So I said, let me get this straight. You claim to work for a prominent film studio, but you don't know who Ron White is? Blue Collar Comedy Tour? Larry the Cable Guy? And they're like, are you still interested in joining a training or not? I'm thinking, what do you think? I was like, Bill Engvall? Better we shouldn't waste each other's time, dear. Oh, you did not call me dear. Like, none of these names ring a bell. I don't think you are who you claim to be. In fact, I don't think you're human at all. You're an AI, aren't you? And their response was, how can AI make a flowing conversation? Bruh, like seriously? You don't think an AI can make a flowing conversation? Technology has come to that point, you know? And I responded, you seriously thought I was from Wakanda? And they're like, well, because that's what you called yourself. Were you expecting me to argue with you? I said, right there, you prove that you're either an AI or someone who has never watched a Marvel movie. Someone who supposedly works for a very famous film company. And they say, haha, fair point. I'll admit maybe I've missed a few Marvel movies, but I'm definitely human, I promise. Oh yeah, sure, because ChatGPT has never claimed that before. And I was like, you didn't know who I was when I gave my name. And they said, do you want to call? I think that should convince you that I'm actually human. And I was like, that doesn't prove anything. I said, you might definitely be a human, but you're most definitely a scammer. I've been dropping hints this entire time. My wife choked on a pea after she divorced me for eating another woman's casserole? Please, I killed that bitch. I didn't, guys. I've never been married. I've really suffered. You've called me all kinds of names. I'm like, straight I have. Scammers are the scum of the earth. I understand why you might feel that way, Ron. There are a lot of scams out there and it's smart to be cautious. But I assure you, I'm not here to trick anyone. I'm simply sharing a legitimate remote opportunity and everything is explained step by step so you can make an informed decision. And I'm like, yeah, right, because the only way to join this opportunity is by clicking on a link that you provided. Scammer 101. Please, you think I'm that stupid? I know that this is happening in the market, so it's good that you know about it. Since you mentioned this fraud, I just want to inform you that as long as you don't provide anyone with any personal information to work on the internet, no one can fool you. The company I want to introduce you to does not require any personal information from you. Now that sounds really, really convincing, doesn't it? But you notice something, that they have perfect grammar, no spelling mistakes. It tells me that they're probably asking a chatbot to respond to this comment. I also happen to know that what they're saying is complete horse crap, and I told them as much. And I said, I know of plenty of scams that fetch personal information through internet links. You'll have to try harder than that. You're really smart. Yeah, flattery, right? And I don't doubt your concerns. I completely understand in today's online world there are so many fake platforms and shady models that steal from legitimate companies to scam innocent people. To be honest, I've been scammed by things like that before, but I didn't give up. I kept looking for a safe and secure opportunity. Thankfully, a friend invited me to join this company, and since then I've been earning well with great flexibility and security. And I was like, that proves nothing. You still have no proof that you're who you say you are. And they're like, and that's why I recommend you take a look at how this job works. You can verify everything yourself. The company even holds a government-issued business certificate. Yeah, I know. I looked it up. And they have an official website, and of course, as you move forward, you can still decide to step back if it doesn't feel right for you. What do you think? So I called them out on this nonsense, because obviously this is a real company. I looked it up, I know the number, I have everything that I need to know about that. Them saying that it's a real company means nothing, because they could still just be a scammer that's pretending to be from that company. And I told them as much. And now here comes the cope. To be perfectly clear, I don't work for Heyday in a traditional direct hire role. I am a participant in their official remote partnership program, just like you would be. I use the same workbench and get paid through the same system. The best proof I can offer isn't a pay stub from me, but the platform itself. The workbench has all the official company certificates, legal user agreements, and the entire workflow. You can verify everything directly there. Since you're already familiar with the company, the quickest way to see this is legitimate is to access the partner workbench, which is, of course, on the link. And I was like, you're still trying to get me to click on the link. It's not happening. Also, I've looked up this program. It doesn't exist. And now they're really, really pushing here. Like, they understand your hesitation about clicking on links. It's important to be cautious these days. The link I shared is the official workbench, blah, 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 blah. It means nothing. I said, no, not happening. And they're like, I've been working for this company for a long time. If this opportunity wasn't legitimate, I wouldn't have stayed on and invited others to join me. Again, that's not proof. It means nothing. So I just responded, that's bullshit. Of course, I was like, I'm screenshotting this, by the way. Gonna make a great YouTube video. And you guys, of course, are watching it now. And this is the greatest cope I have ever seen from a scammer. The top brass don't want to acknowledge this work, which uses real data to update the rankings. It would disrupt their money-making scheme. Even at Heyday headquarters, it's more like a secret side project that's completely unknown. To be honest, we are lucky to be a part of it. Oh, so now it's a big secret. Oh, sure it is. So I was like, well, then they definitely wouldn't like it if I made a YouTube video about it, would they? All the more reason to do it. And they were like, it's an official workbench link. You can't just click and you'll make a YouTube video of it. I mean, you're watching the video now, aren't you? Aren't you? Huh? So anyways, if you think the link is shady, why not try it on a new device with no personal data? Now, they know that nobody's going to do that. Who's going to go out, buy a brand new phone with no personal data on it, and click on this link? Who's going to do that? Nobody's going to do that. If you need money and you're desperate enough to go through these kinds of people, you're not going to have enough money to buy a new phone. So I said, nah, we're done here. I'm not dumb enough to fall for that. I've got everything I need. And I do. I did, in fact, actually call the number in LA, and they did respond. And guess what? The moment I said, hey, I've got this Indeed, they said, yeah, it's a scam, and they hung up on me. So what does that tell you? So yeah, guys, don't fall for this. It's really easy to look at this and think, it looks legitimate. It absolutely looks legitimate. But there's so many red flags that got thrown up during this that there was no way I was clicking on that link. Not a chance in the world. But it was fun messing with them. Anyways, that's all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. My name is Cinnamon Roll. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.